Hi everybody, welcome to Missy's Imaginings. Today we're going to work on a new project, so we're going to work on sewing something. Right before we get to that though, I was going to show you the new coat. I went ahead and tweaked this pattern a little bit on the coat. Hopefully he'll show. I'll put him here, so I don't know if the camera's going to cut his head or shoulders off if I put him up there. So I widened this a little bit just so I'd have more overlap on the coat, make it a little more comfortable. This way it could also fit dolls that are a little thicker in their girth. So this 70 centimeter resin sole body is very thin. So if you have one of the tall guys that's, you know, more buff, the coat would probably work. So we'll show, I widened the facing so that it shows better and it's not as narrow if it happens to turn out, so the lapel can go down a little bit farther, and it still will show really nicely and it won't affect how this wants to flip out. So I made that a little bit wider. Fixed the collar in the back of the neck, brought it up a little higher. Also, on this one on the sleeves, I didn't put any of the rickrack to kind of hold that closed. I still don't have the dark black shirt done yet. That's going to be a new pattern, so I'll also do a video putting that pattern together. It's just going to be a little bit differently sewn than the one we did for David Tennant, because that was a very thin fitted shirt. This one's going to be a little bit more blousey, have a little bit more puff in the sleeves, longer cuffs. So I have it all cut out, so that'll be another video. We'll put that together. So that black sleeve will show through this slit, so I didn't close that in any way, so I left that open. Also, when I was cutting this, I was cutting out the pieces and I accidentally grabbed the back pieces in which of the pattern, and instead of laying it on the gold fabric, I actually laid it on the fabric for the lapels and the collar, and I didn't notice it till I was already cutting that, oh, that's not the facing, that's the back. But you know, part of having fun with crafts is when you make a mistake, you just go with it and make it look like you did it on purpose. So that's what I did. So the back of his coat looks like this, which when I got it done, I thought, ooh, I really like it. So the back of his coat is the same fabric as the collar and the lapels, which is kind of cool. It ties it together, and it ties together the red pants, which is what I had in my brain originally, was the red pants, which I have the faux leather red pants cut out and they're ready to put together. I just haven't got that far yet either. So anyway, but I did have some of the red ninja pants, so I thought I'll put those on him just to get the complete look. And then he has on just a black tank top underneath there. So, but anyway, this is what the coat looks like now. You could do buttons, do a sash, or just let it fall open. However you want to work that, but it should be fine on some of the thicker fellas. Also, before we go further into our project, I bought a Miro doll 60 centimeter male body. When I got it home and measured it, and he's actually 55. So I don't know if the 60 is inclusive if you have a head on it, but still it would be too, that wouldn't be correct either, because the head is going to be more than 5 centimeters. So in any event, he is shorter than Rain. I'll just show you. I'll show you. Okay, I'm already thinking this is going to be a little awkward, but here we go. So Rain is what I thought was like 65 centimeters. This is the Miro doll Rain in gray skin. And then this is their quote-unquote 60 centimeter body. So as you can see, he's quite a bit shorter, this one is, than Rain. So this must be like the 60, what they call the 65 centimeter body, and this is their 60. But in truth, it's not 60 centimeters. So we'll lay Rain over here. And so when I measured with an actual measuring tape, here we go, down to the heel, 0, I feel like Mary Poppins again with my little measuring tape. Yes, it's at 50, 54, 55 centimeters. So this body, I went ahead and thinking when I took him out of the package, I thought, okay, well this way I'll have clothing patterns for Rain and this guy, and I got the new basic set all finished, and then I thought it just feels less when I'm holding him. He doesn't feel as long, and so when I got them out and compared them, I thought, oh well, he's definitely shorter. So this is the shorter body. This guy will have a Kaji doll band head that I have to put on him. I have too many projects. So anyway, so the basic pattern for this guy is done, and it'll be posted on the website. And once again, that's not a clothing pattern. It's just a set of pieces that actually fit this doll. They were formed on the doll, and it's ones you can use to draft your own patterns. So you can take those and make them thicker, add seam. They have a seam allowance, so if you were to actually sew them, you would get a skin-tight bodysuit. Some people like that because they want it underneath clothing to protect the doll from staining. So that set of pattern pieces will be on the website. Also, the revised version of the gold coat will also be on the website. So if you want to get that new pattern with the changes made, then that's on the website as well. So that's just the news that we have so far. Now I gotta take these guys and get them out of the way. And now to our project. Today we're going to be sewing the overall pattern for 3rd scale female doll, and I have the pieces here. I've done some scribbling on here as I was making notes while sewing it, so we'll kind of go over those once we have it sewn. But I'm going to be using a blue and white striped fabric. So I'm going to use this fabric because it just reminds me of the old engineer overall fabric, kind of. And when I found this, I don't even remember where I got it. Probably in a bargain bin somewhere. My brain just went to old engineer overalls. So that's what we're going to be using for the pattern. This pattern is on the website. It's one that I posted during the 12 Gifts of Christmas for this year. So it's already on the website. You can go ahead and download it and print it out. And we'll go ahead and adjust the camera and start sewing. I have all my pieces ready. These little overalls take a lot of smaller pieces, so there is going to be a lot of prep work done in just finishing edges and getting everything ready. So I will be taking the pocket for the back and serging the top edge, folding it over and getting that hemmed. This is going to be, it's just a little scrap, but I'm going to make it into just a little strap that will be a loop on the front bib pocket. The front bib pocket will be here, so I have to serge the top, turn it over, hem that. There will be a couple seams, so there'll be a big pocket and some narrow pockets with just a little like screwdriver loop or something on there. I have 2 hammer loops. One will be connected to a set of pockets on one leg. One loop will be on the other leg, so those will be hemmed and turned over so that they're nice and finished. The little hammer pockets or tool pockets are dual widths or lengths, I mean, so those edges will need to be turned over and hemmed, and so they'll be ready to put on the legs. So there's a lot of work that will be done to get these ready. The bib itself of the overalls, there's 2 pieces so that it'll be finished on both sides. So we'll be sewing around the outside, turning it right side out, and then basting across the bottom, so that will be ready to attach to the front of the overalls. Then the pockets will be put in just like we do on the other pants on different videos. So I have the pocket here that will go inside. So yeah, there's a lot of work to be done just on these little bits and pieces before we actually start to assemble the overalls. So I'm going to be working on getting all that prep work done, and when that is done, then I'll bring all the pieces back and kind of line them up so you can see them, and then we'll get started on construction. now back with all the small pieces prepared. So the back pockets are ready. These back pockets, I went ahead and serged the top edge of the pocket, turned it over and hemmed it, and then all the outside edges need to be turned over and pressed. That just makes them a lot easier when you go to place them on the back of the pants, because now I can just top stitch around the outside edge all at one time as I'm placing them on, rather than stitch this and then have to stitch it again when I put them on the pants. So having it pressed just makes it easier to place. I can simply pin it on and then top stitch that right onto the pants. So both of the back pockets are done. Also, I have the little tool hammer pocket that will go on one of the legs finished. I first serged the angled edge on both pieces, turned it over and hemmed it. Then I layered those one on top of the other. There we go, in case the stripes are hard to see. So there's two pockets there. I went ahead and stay stitched 1/8 of an inch around the outside, and this too I went ahead and turned it in and pressed it. So this also is ready, so I can just lay it onto the leg where I'm going to actually place that. I also have the loops, and these I didn't have to do the real tiny one because once these were done they were small enough. So this will probably be cut, so I'll have a couple loops that will be folded. They'll be placed underneath here, so that will actually be stitched down when I put the pockets on. So that will give the little hammer loop on the edge of the pants, and then I'll have enough selvage that I can actually get 2 loops out of each one of these. So I'll have a loop on each leg, and then I'll also have a loop when I go to place the pocket on the bib of the overalls. So here's the pocket for the bib of the overalls. So this will be placed on here with, I'll leave enough for a seam allowance that will be attached to the waistband. So the pocket will be about here. I'll probably also have a loop on at least one, if not both sides of that pocket, just so it'll be another tool loop. And then this pocket will also have seams for 2 skinny pockets and then a wider pocket. So that's all the prep work. Along with the prep work of the pockets and the little pieces, I also went ahead and serge finished the shorter edge of the straps. So though that inside edge is finished, just because of the way I'm going to put it together, I wanted this one to actually be finished and ready before I attach it. Then the front pockets are in the front of the pants. So the pockets are all done in the front of the pants. The next step I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sew together the front crotch seam of the front of the pants. So I'll be doing this with a 1/4 inch, and then I'll go ahead and serge that so it'll be nice and finished. So that will be here. Then on the back, I'm going to also do the crotch seam, which in actuality is also the back. So it's the center back. So it'll be this whole seam here, and I'll do it of course with right sides together. So I'll go ahead and sew that. So when you open it up, it'll make a triangle up at the top, and that triangle is where we're going to attach the straps. So the straps will be attached to that pointed tip on the back of the overalls. So the straps will then go over the shoulders. So that's going to be my next steps. And then once those are done, I'll probably, let's see, the crotch seams, then I'll do the side seams. When the side seams are finished, so let's see, a side seam would be, here we go. So once the side seams are done, I'm not going to sew all the way from the waist to the bottom, but I'm going to leave that open about to here, because that's going to overlap and snap on the sides. So I'm not going to sew all the way up. I'll probably leave, maybe half, like the depth of the pocket, half of the depth of the pocket to the top open. So I'll serge that edge so I can fold it over, and it'll be nice and finished. But then once the leg is sewn together, I will go ahead and be placing the hammer pocket and the loops onto this side of the legs. I'm not sure which side I want to put them on. Usually they're on the, let's see, on the right side. So I'll place the pockets on here. I'm also going to be I'll go ahead and attach the pocket to this part. So that's kind of going to be where I'm at. Also on the back, I will go ahead and place the back pockets, just because once you start putting these pieces together, it's hard to get all your pockets on because you just run out of room to work. So I'll probably place these back pockets about here before I start putting all that together. So I'll put some pockets on, get my side seams ready so I can place the hammer pocket and the loops and put the bib pocket on, and then I'll be back to the camera. The front of the pants is put together. I went ahead and took the waistband that's just going to be on the front and sewed it to the top edge and serged that edge so it's like a loose waistband. Now I'm going to take the bib and I'm going to sew that to the top edge of the waistband, and I'll finish that. Then this will be turned up like this to give a finished edge, and then I will top stitch on both the top and the bottom of the waistband. That will help hold that into place. Then the ends, once I put the sides together, I'm going to stitch to about here, so the ends are going to be folded in, so that'll be nice and finished. So that's what that's going to look like when it's done. So that's my next steps. Here, to make sure this is centered, I'm going to fold my bib in half and do a small notch there, and I'm also going to fold the waistband in half, there we go, and do a small notch in the waistband just so it's easier to line up where the center is when I go to place this together. So there we go. So the back of the overalls is done, and I did discover that I probably will do it differently next time, in that, let's see, I will finish this edge as well before I attach it to the overalls, and that way I can just fold the whole thing over when I do this edge. I had it my idea to do the long one all at once when I serge it, which is what I did. And it went together okay. It was just a little awkward in putting that together. So if you're going to go ahead and try this, I would go ahead and finish both edges of the straps and then attach them to the back, because then when you fold that over and fold that seam allowance done, all you'll need to do is top stitch this. I would also serge and finish this edge before you attach the strap, or go ahead and attach it and then serge it and fold it over. But trying to do this edge all at once kind of was a little awkward. So, but we got it together. So that's what the back looks like. So there's the back of the pants, and here's the front. So now I'm going to serge just a little bit down this edge so that I can just turn it over where it's going to overlap. So I'll serge a little bit there like I did on these. Just a little bit so it'll be finished when I turn it over on both sides. And then it will be time to go ahead and put the pants together at the sides. So I'll match up the length. And it looks like this edge is going to be a little bit taller than the other, so I may go ahead and fold this corner in as well, and then fold this around so that that will line up just to the back, will line up there. So that's what I'm going to do on this side. And then once those side seams are put together, I will hem the bottoms, and I will also put in the pockets for the legs and the hammer loops. I kind of forgot to do a hammer loop on here, but that's okay. So here she is. The little overalls are finished. I have the snaps on the side right here, so those close with snaps, and I put the little fasteners on, got those sewn into place. She's got a ruler, a paintbrush. Isn't that cute? My daughter got me surprises for, was it my birthday? And a little hammer. How fun is it to actually have a hammer to put in her pocket? Of course, she's got some pencils up here. I just don't want her to poke herself in the face with them because they're pretty sharp. But here are the overalls. So I did forget to put a loop on the top here, but that's okay. And I ended up only doing 2 pockets instead of 3. So there's a pocket here and then one that has the pencils in it. And then the double pocket here, so there's a ruler in this one. There we go. Get my hand out of the way. And a paintbrush, the pocket loop, and then there's another loop here that could hold something. There we go. And then on this side, there's another loop. There we go. So it could be here. So there's all the traditional cool loops. And then inset pockets, of course, that we put in there. The changes that I've noticed that I mentioned I was scribbling on the pattern pieces is it is a little snug, so I think I would actually loosen it. It fits her really well because she's very thin, and this is a Miro doll. What was her name? Oh, Mika. There we go. I went phew. So this is a Miro doll Mika. It's their 60 centimeter female body, just the traditional style. And so it is a slender body, and this fits her, but it was a little snug trying to get her t-shirt tucked in. This t-shirt, if you like the t-shirt, it's pretty basic. But this is actually on the website already as well, and this t-shirt was designed to fit the Tonner Hero body or the Tonner Mortimer and Peter Pevensey bodies. So it'll fit them, it'll fit lots of different dolls just because it's just a basic t-shirt. So this pattern for this t-shirt is already on the website, and you can go ahead and download that and print out that if you just want an easy t-shirt pattern. It has 2-piece back so that the back you don't sew all the way up, you sew to about here, leave it open and put a snap, just because a lot of the ball jointed dolls have pretty large heads depending on what you're doing or what you're making. So to have one to actually pull over their head, it was just easier to do a snap. So, and that way you can make it overlap at the neckline as much as you want. If you want a smaller neckline, you can take the trim and instead of cutting it the full length of the pattern piece, take about 1 inch of it off and then stretch it as you sew it on, and then when it bunches back up, it'll tighten up that neckline. So that's one option you can do if you want a smaller neckline. And but back to the overalls, I would probably shorten the straps just a little bit so there wasn't as much overlap here where you tighten it. But there again, if you have a very, very busty doll, you might need more room in those straps. So that's an option. And then I noticed that it's a little short. So her pants are a little short, and I would prefer them to come all the way down to the floor, because then once you get shoes on, of course, then it shortens them. So I would probably add, oh, 1.5 to 2 inches to the length, just because I like a little bit of buckle at the bottom of pants. That's just my preference. But for right now, they come right about down to the top of the doll's foot, and so to me they're a little short. But you can kind of, you know, pull them down a little and get a little more length. But anyway, that's what they look like. Here's the back. So the back, there we go. Turn your head, Mika. There we go. So this is how the back turns out. So it has the two pieces coming together to make a point, and then the straps are sewn on there. Like I mentioned when I was actually sewing, if I make another pair, I will finish both sides of these straps rather than only the inside, and then attach it, and then both of these will be finished, and then I will just flip that seam allowance down and hem that. Also, so the length I would change a little bit. I'd change the way I sewed it, and then I would probably take this curve and come up about 1/2 inch, just so that this angle meets the top of the waistband, because it looks like this would have met this piece, but I forgot to allow the fact that the waistband would extend beyond the bib on the sides. So it comes across here, and it's wider than the bib, so you'd want that to meet with the back side of the overalls. But other than that, yeah. I placed her pockets a little bit low, just because I knew that I was going to have to deal with an opening right here. So, but I don't mind. I like them. So she has her pockets in the back, and they can hold, let's see, put a ruler in her pocket. There we go. So that's what she looks like. That's how they turned out, and I was happy that it went together pretty well. So that is the overalls. The next video I'm going to do is, when I posted the pattern for the overalls, I posted it with a pattern of a button-up shirt. Now, I have sewn the button-up shirt before. It was part of the cotton candy, was it cotton candy outfit that I have posted on eBay for sale. It's more of kind of a little fun, whimsy, K-pop type outfit. And so that little Peter Pan collar blouse with puffy, kind of puffy sleeves and elastic is the pattern that was posted with the overalls. So I have, I'll lay her down so I don't drop her. I have that shirt all cut out. Oh, I'll grab the red pants as well. So that shirt will be this really cute yellow and tulip fabric. It's a seersucker fabric. So I'm going to be doing the video of putting that shirt together, and that's the shirt that I had planned to go with these overalls. But that'll be another video, and I just didn't want her to be standing in overalls with no shirt on. So, so she has a t-shirt for now. But anyway, that's how it turned out, and we'll come next time and put the shirt together. So until then, have a great day and have fun with your projects. See you next time.